Hello and welcome to Soul Steps. I'm David Gallagher. I had a merchant account with a credit card company for a number of years and didn't realize that during COVID they had suspended some of the payments, the maintenance fees. And then one day post-COVID, I opened the account to see a $110 charge that was making up for the lost time over the 2 years that they had suspended these payments. And I decided that since I had not actively been using that account, it was better to just close it. So I called and talked to two different agents about the matter, who both confirmed that I could close the account and then ask for a refund of the $110. And I was very careful to document and confirm that that's what they said I needed to do. So I closed the account. I called back, got a third person named Jordan who was kind enough to help me, and he started processing the refund, and I was on hold for about 10 minutes when the call got disconnected. You know how that goes. So I called back, but this time, instead of speaking with Mike or Pat or Jordan, I got Doug. And I learned pretty quickly that Doug was not spelled D-O-U-G, it was spelled D-U-G. Because as I got into my conversation with Doug, it was obvious my grave was being dug with respect to getting my money back. Doug informed me that the other agents I had spoken with were wrong, that I could not get the money back. So I asked him for his supervisor. Well, he put his supervisor on the phone, and her name was Ginger. And of course, Ginger, I'm thinking Gilligan's Island. I'm thinking this lovely woman who will be kind to me and back up what the first two customer service agents told me and get my refund. But no, Ginger was not that kind of Ginger, and she was nothing like Mary Ann on Gilligan's Island. And she informed me I could only get half my money back. Well, my blood was boiling a little bit because of the lack of consistency in the information that was being given, and I launched into telling her that I thought her customer service agents should be better equipped to deal with calls like this so that the story is the same across the board. But in the end, I just decided I couldn't let my blood boil any longer after talking to all these people, getting different stories, and I just said, fine, give me half my money back. Well, she agreed to do that. I hung up, and then about an hour later, I get a text message from her saying, oh, as it turns out, you can't get any of your money back. And that really made me mad. But at that point, I had to make a decision to let it go. Yeah, I could keep making calls and probably waste a lot of time trying to fight this. But at that point, I felt it was better to just let it go and not allow myself to get wound up about it. In Hebrews chapter 4, verses 14 to 16, it says, therefore, since we have a great high priest who has ascended into heaven, Jesus, the Son of God, let us hold firmly to the faith we profess. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize or empathize with our weaknesses, but we have one who's been tempted in every way, just as we are, yet he did not sin. Let us then approach God's throne of grace with confidence, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need. Now, being on the phone with some credit card customer service people shouldn't be a big deal, but sometimes the little things become big things. One writer many years ago wrote this. He said, as a man writes his name in his books, as a farmer puts his brand on his sheep and cows that express his ownership, on the redeemed, on you and me as followers of Christ, there is written the name of God. That means whatever else it may mean. perfect love, perfect self-surrender, perfect obedience, that the whole nature shall be owned and know itself owned and be glad to be owned by God. That is the perfecting of the Christian relationship which is begun here on earth. And then he continues by writing, but however mature and advanced may be Christian experience, it is never lifted above the possibility of temptation. Christ's reward for faithfulness is not immunity from, but strength in trial and conflict. As long as we are in the world, there will be forces warring against us, and we shall have to fight our worst selves and the tendencies which tempt us to prefer the visible to the unseen and the present to the future. So in this world, I think this is so important. In this world, there's forces warring against us, and we will have to fight our worst selves and the tendencies which tempt us to prefer the visible to the unseen and the present to the future. I don't know what battles you're facing. They might be huge or they might be pretty small, like mine was with the credit card company. But there's always forces warring against you that want to be dug and want to dig your grave by calling you out and pitting you against your worst self. So today, my prayer for you is that when you're being tempted and your worst self is being called out and you're getting wound up and stressed out about something that in the end you may not be able to do anything about, know when to lose a battle in order to win the war. And if the lost battle means you stopping all temptation to get wound up and riled up and encounter your worst self, let it go. Ask God to give you the strength, as he said in Hebrews 4, to give you the strength and that you can approach his throne of grace with confidence so that you might receive mercy and find that grace of God to help you in that time of need. Thanks for watching today. If you'd like to contact us, please write us at hello@soulsteps.org. And do remember us in your giving. You can visit our website at soulsteps.org and find ways there that you can support us in our work. Thank you, and God bless you.